Okay, just saw the episode and I'm just about to drown on social media. That was rough. That was really hard to watch. I just want to cry. But I'm glad Arya is safe and Gendria may live to see another day. But there was so much. I always thought that they would make Dany go mad queen, but I didn't know that it would hurt that much watching it. Oh my god. I'm scared for next episode. But, you know, I think there were fitting parts of the episode. But I'll talk about that tomorrow. My recap.
Hi all, so I really wanted to do a recap reaction of Game of Thrones. Episode 5, the penultimate episode, The Bells. I have a lot of conflicting thoughts on it, so let's get started. I saw the inside the episode, the game revealed, and I actually saw the episode twice. I got more of an understanding for it after watching it for a second time, and also seeing what the writers and, you know, the whole production process of it. So I'm gonna start off with pros and cons. The positive points: the bowls, the Clegane Bowl, the Dane Bowl, which is what they call the Jaime and Euron scene. I thought those were really cool. We finally got those face-offs and they were satisfying. Arya Stark, I really love her in this episode. She's probably one of the few characters I think they do right by. They show her not to be one-dimensional and choose a different path. She finds her humanity, essentially. She chooses to steer away from revenge and death, thanks to the Hound. And I thought that was really lovely to watch, so that's definitely a positive for me. The cinematography, obviously, there were some gorgeous shots. I really couldn't appreciate it the first time around watching it because I was just like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, knowing what was gonna happen, because right immediately when they start the episode, I know Dany is gonna go full on Mad Queen, and it's not gonna be pretty, and it's gonna be hard to watch. But after watching it for a second time, where I already know and I've accepted what happens, I got to see all the wonderful shots, and there was some great ones. The soundtrack, of course, the music is always really great, and they pair really well with the scenes, especially in the Arya scene at the very end of the episode with the white horse. That was incredible. And then the Jaime and Cersei scene when the building collapses on them and they essentially die. Yeah, Cersei Lannister was killed by rocks, holding the love of her life. I loved Qyburn's death. Funniest death in Game of Thrones. It was great. Killed by the monster he created. So fitting. Jaime and Tyrion scene, I love that they added this in there. It was so heartfelt. I cried both times watching it. Yeah, I felt bad. It was actually well written, and there's times in season 8 that it doesn't really feel like the characters, like the things they say. You're just kind of like, wait, are these the same people? But this scene is very in character to them for me, and it was great to watch. All right, negatives. I'm gonna go with the general consensus to start off. This season is rushed, no doubt. They packed everything into 6 episodes, and I'm worried for the next episode to see how they wrap this all up, because it's obviously gonna be rushed like everything else has been. I think it would have been better off with 10 episodes, maybe even 7 or 8. And I know it's money and everybody wants to move on kind of from this. It's been a long time. They've been doing this for a long time, and D&D are on to their next venture, Star Wars. So they're kind of just over it. But still, as a fan, you know, you can't help feeling that the plot is just thrown at us and things are just kind of thrown in there and just kind of rushing it along to make it happen. This episode was, what, 80 minutes long? It still feels like we wanted more. I think the series is gonna end and we're still gonna feel like we want more, but you know, or maybe it'll be so bad that we're happy it's over. I don't know, but definitely bringing anything to an end like this, especially such a huge series, is hard and scary. I do not envy them. The anticlimactic Cersei death, yeah, wasn't great. I wish it would have been something else, something more epic, but you know, it is what it is, and sometimes those big bad villains don't get the most epic deaths. Her children had better deaths than her. So, yeah, John, my God. If I was Kit, I'd be like, why did my character become this? He's just so confused and surprised all the time. This whole season, that's him. It sucks. I used to really like Jon Snow, but this season, he's really useless. Yeah, definitely next episode, he's gonna have to deal with this whole Dany issue, Mad Queen fallout. Hello, negative no Joe Dempsey this episode. Right when the episode started, I was looking at the credits and we immediately noticed there are names missing. Sophie Turner's not in it, Gwendolyn Christie, Joe Dempsey. So that's kind of disappointing, but you know what? It just means that they're safe. So I'm not complaining, really. But I kind of am, but you know, whatever. The prophecies, of course, have been thrown out the window, and the foreshadowing and things like that. Cersei wasn't killed by her younger brother, the prince that was promised, the whole Jon and Daenerys, like, why? You know, there's just like a lot of things that we're just like, huh? But like I said, rushed. They're trying to wrap this all up. So yeah, I have conflicted feelings. I'm kind of in the middle of all of it. I understand the people that feel Dany was done dirty and that she would have never killed all these innocent people. And I also understand the people that are saying that they have been hinting at this. To be completely honest, I always saw her going mad. I always knew that that was the direction that they wanted to go with it. I'm not gonna say I like it. I'm not gonna say that I was rooting for that to happen. I was never a huge Dany fan. I saw the good parts of her and I saw the bad parts of her. And I think that's obviously apparent. But like I said, since this season is so rushed, it was just kind of thrown at us. But I guess I'm leaning more towards the sense of, yes, you know, I didn't want her to kill all those innocent people. And even though I did see it happen, it doesn't mean it doesn't hurt to watch it all unfold. Because it was hard to watch and it sucks. But at the same time, she's lost so much. And she's so scared. And this whole episode, we know what's coming. We hear the bells and we know that this is not the end of it. She's tried the whole surrendering and listening to Tyrion thing, and it hasn't worked out in the past. I'm not saying it's justified to kill all those people, obviously. All I'm saying is that she was scared. One, she didn't know if something was gonna happen. If she just stopped there and was like, okay, fine, they surrender, cool. She doesn't know if, okay, they're planning on killing me and my dragon, they're trying to take me down, they're gonna take the throne away from me, it's all over. Like, she's just so scared, and Amelia did such a great job portraying that, because I know filming that must have been nuts, because she's, you know, green screen behind her, she's not actually looking at King's Landing and everything. That's just her and her imagination. So she did an awesome job. You see that switch, like, F it. You know what? I'm gonna go full on this. And obviously, she feels like she has no one. She's lost everyone. Jorah, Missandei, a lot of her troops, her 2 dragons. She only has 1 left. Jon not returning her affections. And she feels just done. Like, it's over. Like, and you know it when she's like, I choose fear then. Like, let's go. Let's rage. You're like, and she never agreed to the whole surrendering and stopping it once the bells ring. She never said that. I was hoping that she'd just blow Cersei away and just kill her and that's it, and not go full on crazy. But from up there, I do not think that she's looking at these innocent people like, ew, I hate them, let's kill them. No, she's just like in a rage, a manic rage of just like, ah, like, let's just burn everything, like, I'm done. Like, she's not thinking specifically about each of those people, you know? She is very impulsive, emotional, and we've seen it. She has burnt plenty of people, so I'm not surprised. Do I like it? You know, no. And I hate that she's turned into, you know, the next kind of villain. It really shows that fine line between good guys, bad guys, and we see it also when the troops start following suit. Obviously, Grey Worm then Sully, they're obviously loyal to her, so they're gonna follow no matter what. But then you see Jon's Northmen fighting alongside and just, all right, let's just kill all these people, women, children, everyone, like, whatever. And you're just like, oh my god, we see these people that we see as good turning bad, and it sucks. But yeah, it really shows that they're more alike than different. Like, we're so quick to be like, these people are bad, these people are good, when it's just kind of a whole mixture of both. Oh, Aaron Rodgers was in it. I watched it twice, didn't really see him, but then I saw in the game revealed, they're like, oh yeah, that was Aaron Rodgers, he was there, and I was like, oh, okay. Oh, good for him. The Starks love their little half up, half down. That's like their go-to hairstyle. I was starting to feel that Jon, even though he doesn't want to rule, he doesn't really feel in touch with his Targaryen side, even though he did ride a dragon. I felt like he was abandoning his Stark side. Like, he kept just making all these comments, but there he is, dressed in his Stark armor with his half up, half down hairstyle. I'm gonna do it too. Just like Sansa, just like Arya, Bran, you know, he's a three-eyed raven now, too cool for that. So the episode opens with Varys writing a letter. Basically, like, Aegon Targaryen, this is the heir to the Iron Throne, like, he's the dude that's supposed to rule it all. See him talking to the little girl, Martha, who I actually saw was in the crypt with him back in Winterfell. She's his little bird there in Dragonstone, and basically what we gather from this is that he's trying to poison Dany. He wants Jon on the Iron Throne. And I also have mixed feelings about this because, you know, he always tried to serve the realm. After Dany burnt everything, we're like, Varys was right. But I wouldn't trust him. If he was my dude, one of my trusty people, I'd be like, nah, like, he's gonna turn on me. So I also get where she's coming from. He knows it's a suicide mission. He knows it's not gonna end well, but he doesn't care. His death has already been told to us. We know that he's gonna die this season just from what Melisandre has said. I wonder why he takes off his rings when Grey Worm and Unsullied come for him. I guess he didn't want to burn with them. Jon and Varys chat. Varys is basically like, you'd make a better ruler. Jon's like, nah, I don't want it. I told you, she's my queen. I'm gonna follow her. And Dany's looking out the window, you know, and Tyrion comes to her. He's like, I have to tell you something. And she's like, someone's betrayed me. And he's like, yes. And she's like, Jon Snow. And he's like, well, no, actually it's Varys. But Tyrion is also the one that told Varys, so you're just kind of like, and Dany knows that. She's just like, he's also like, Jon Snow betrayed me too. He told his sister and she told you. So it's this whole little ripple effect. She looks awful. At that point, I'm like, oh, this episode is gonna be rough. Her hair's a mess, her face, you know, you feel really bad. I mean, I don't know who's gonna do her hair at this point. When she shows up to battle with her braids all done, I'm like, who did it? Jon? She executes Varys, no really any final words, just kind of like, Dracarys. I don't think he even yells. That whole scene between Tyrion and Varys was also something that I really liked. Tyrion and Varys aren't necessarily best friends, but they've both been around since the first season and they've had a lot of interactions. They've switched sides together. He reveals to Varys, I'm the one that told her. I'm the one that betrayed you. And Varys accepts it. He doesn't get mad. He understands. You know what? Tyrion's like, it's either me or you, basically. Like, I'm sorry you were, you know, trying to poison her and stuff, you know? Gotta save myself, you know, buddy, I'm sorry. And Varys is like, well, I hope I'm wrong then. You know, I hope she's great. And there's a moment where Tyrion touches him and we see this, like, look on Varys' face. And I thought it was really interesting because I saw the game revealed and the inside the episode, and they basically talk about how the actor made the decision that, well, Varys has never been touched. So that kind of, like, shock when Tyrion touches him, it was really nice. It was a really cool shot with Drogon just appearing there like that, over them like that. It was a really visually appealing scene, considering, you know, it was an execution. Dany gives Grey Worm Missandei's only possession, that basically choker thing that I'm guessing was something that bound her. And Grey Worm throws it in the fire, and you know what? I don't blame him. Why keep that? I thought it was funny when Dany was like talking to Jon about Sansa and how he told Sansa, and Sansa killed Varys just as much as she did. I don't know about that. Dany talks about not having love, only having fear. She's not used to it. Before, she had all of these armies and all these loyal people to her, and here that she comes to a new land, she has nothing. Her and Jon, you know, try to kiss. She tries to kiss him, and he just can't reciprocate it. He can't love her in that way anymore. You know what, Jon? I'm sorry, but can you just please pretend and kiss your aunt? Maybe this would have turned out differently. And she just kind of ends that with, fine, let it be fear. And we're all like, Tyrion mentions the bells, like I said. She doesn't really agree to anything. She's just kind of like, by the way, we caught Jaime. He was going back to Cersei, so he betrayed us. And Tyrion's like, and I'm like, how many times does Jaime have to get caught? Like, he really is the stupidest Lannister. He's always prisoner somewhere. Like I said, I love that whole Jaime and Tyrion scene. I thought it was really nice. And how Tyrion says that Jaime was the only one not to see him as a monster. And I'm just like, getting emotional thinking about it. And Tyrion essentially sets him free. You know, he did him a solid. Jaime's done him a solid before, now Tyrion does him a solid, and he's like, get out of here. You and Cersei sail away. And Jaime's like, well, you're gonna get in big trouble for this. And we know that it's gonna happen because literally Dany was like, fail me again, and basically you're toast. And yeah, Tyrion goes behind her back, does this, and we know it's probably not gonna go over well, but he couldn't help it. It's still his family, and he has love for Jaime, of course. Him and Cersei, you know, they have beef, but he sacrificed essentially himself for the greater good for the rest of the people, even though, as we know, they die. But okay, why is Davos there? Like, he's always there in battle, him and Tyrion. Davos, you know, he stands his ground, I know, but like, he's not a soldier. I'm just like, come on, keep Davos safe, please. He should be over there with Gendry, keeping in company after this heartbreak. I'm just kidding. Arya and the Hound adventures, obviously love this duo. They come storming in, and Arya's basically like, I'm Arya Stark and I'm gonna kill Queen Cersei. It was just iconic. He's riding in on a dark horse, noted, resembling death, and going on this revenge mission. They show a close-up on the bell, and we're just kind of like, we know what you're doing. Arya and the Hound walk in like this badass duo. They walk straight through those gates like They get right through the heart of it all, and Jaime can't even get in, and he's there waving his hand. And he's like, yeah, it's me, guys. Like, look, the hand, like, let me in. And yeah, they don't pay attention because obviously they have other stuff to worry about. Jaime has to figure out another way to get in. It's kind of like when you're at the bar, you're trying to get a drink. And if you're small like me, you're like, please, like me. Drogon somehow is the smartest dragon, probably because he gets the most love and affection. But he can zigzag really well, while her other dragons were kind of, you know, there, and they got shot down pretty quickly. All of a sudden, these scorpion things aren't working. They're not getting Drogon. Drogon's like, honey. Burns everything. The Iron Fleet are basically burnt. See Euron kind of, you know, jump off, and we know he's not dead. If they don't show him dead, he's not dead yet. All these dragon killing weapons get destroyed in this episode, and I'm like, they didn't have one hiding somewhere. They couldn't keep one like in storage to pull out just in case. I guess at this point they were kind of overconfident, like, we just killed one of them before, and it was like, first shot Euron took, he killed him. The burning of the gate was pretty iconic. Drogon just like burned straight through it and burned straight through the Golden Company. Yeah, I do not think they were worth the money, Cersei. The main dude from Golden Company, no clue what his name is, and I really don't care because he's dead. I like how Grey Worm was the guy to just kind of spear that dude. I felt really bad for the Golden Company's dude's horse. Just got, you know, slaughtered there. And I was like, oh gosh. The Dothraki, where did they come from? I thought they were all dead, but suddenly they're there. There's just like, you know, not that many of them. But okay, I'm glad they're not all dead. Cersei, so hopeful. Thinks her men are so loyal, and yeah, Qyburne's like, so all the scorpions got destroyed, and yeah, we should get out of here and go somewhere safe. And Cersei's like, my men will fight until it's the very last man. They got my back no matter what. And then, cutscene, her men are like, it's over. You know, we're not gonna win. They drop their swords, surrender. Then there's all the screaming to ring the bell. Okay, let's ring the bell, like it's over. And we're just there like, oh, like as a viewer biting your nails, just like, come on, ring the bell, ring the bell, ring the bell. But as we know, it's too good to be true. We see Dany's whole little thought process with all of this. And you're just like, I just wanted her to burn Cersei in that freaking tower. Like, she was just visibly there. Like, just like, come on, Dracarys her, please. And the outfit's really nice. Cersei's outfit, like, I was like, yes, girl. And Dany, they both look really good. Yeah, so obviously bell rings, Dany snaps and starts burning everything. Tyrion and Jon's faces are like, wow, what? Jon is so confused, as always. He's obviously the highest paid extra on this show because what really has he done this season? The Unsullied, the Dothraki, and the North soldiers start fighting, killing everybody, and it's just not good. We see that moment that Jon's like, no, stop, like, come on, like that's it, like, we're done. And his men are still fighting, and we see Grey Worm look back at him like, obviously nobody's listening to Jon. They're just like, we hate these people, let's kill them. That whole cave scene, Euron basically swam over there to fight Jaime. That's like, you know, the last thing he wants to do with his life. He's like, by the way, I effed your sister. And Jaime's like, okay. So they fight, and Jaime gets really hurt. He's like bleeding that whole time after this fight. It's like a dirty pirate fight. Euron dies pretty much. He's there looking up, embracing death, smiling, wildly. Qyburn, I hate him so much, but his tenderness and sweetness with Cersei is like strange. So he's basically like, time to dip. So they do, they kind of run away, and everything is falling, collapsing. It doesn't look promising. Thank God they have the mountain, because he like shields them from all this falling debris and building whatever rocks. The whole Sandor and Arya scene, one of my favorite scenes. Arya's like, I'm gonna go kill Queen Cersei, and the mountain's like, no, you're not. Like, go home, get out of here, you're gonna die like me. He's like, do you want to be like me? You know, he's had this whole mission of revenge, and this whole thing with his brother looming over him, and he's telling her to choose to live. And I know, I agree, it happened so quickly. Like, Arya's like, all right, abandoning her list, abandoning her revenge. But I'm still happy it happened, because essentially he's just like, get out of here, go live your life. This is no life. And it's true. She's done a lot. She's killed a lot. I knew she wasn't going to kill Cersei. They gave her the Night King kill. So I never thought she was really going to kill Cersei like that. I thought they were going to give it to someone else, but turns out they just gave it to Rox. Arya chooses to leave, and she thanks Sandor, and I was like, so sweet. And we know at this point, like, the Hound is gonna die. At least Arya gets her humanity back, and he's the one that, you know, pushed her towards that, her father figure. The Hound shows up, the Mountain and him are kind of, you know, facing each other. Qyburn's like, no, come back, help your queen. Cersei's like, no, you have to defend me, like, you have to guard me. And the Mountain's like, so annoyed. He yeets Qyburn, and it was so satisfying. We're like, yes! Like, I hate that guy. And it's so fitting that it was him to do it. So basically, Cersei walks around all this. She's kind of like, all the memes about it are hilarious. She's just like, and then when she gets closer to where the Hound is, she's like scurries really fast. So basically, Clegane Bowl happens, and it's super rough. I could barely watch some parts of it. I was like, how is he gonna kill this dude? The Mountain does not die, no matter what he does. And it's kind of funny. He's like, oh my God, die already. And that's what we're saying, die already. The whole gauging of the eyes, I was like, oh my God, I hate that. The Hound is like, fine, I've tried killing him so many different ways. Literally gonna take this down. Harry Potter, Voldemort style, Deathly Hallows, part 2. They go down, fall out into the flames, and I'm like, wow, they really did the Hound like that. Like, I get it, you know, he faced his fear and was like, gotta kill this annoying ass brother of mine. This horrible dude that I've hated my whole life. So I was really happy about that. And I knew that, you know, he was gonna go down fighting, go down with his revenge. Jaime, Cersei find each other, and we're like, okay, good for them, cool. And I find it funny, Cersei's like, oh my God, you're bleeding. And it's like, yeah, like, you didn't just send Bronn to kill him. I get it. People wanted Jaime to change. They wanted him to be with Brienne, and I wanted Brienne to be happy, but I never felt that they'd end up together. It felt more of them getting together being fan service. Yeah, his character arc is like a circle. Essentially, it's a cycle. No matter what, he always comes back to Cersei, and he did. So, I'm not surprised by it. Am I disappointed? Yes, but, you know, he's so broken, and he went back to his abuser. He went back to the love of his life, essentially. They came into this world together, and they go out of it together. I like how we get this whole perspective of Arya running through all of this destruction, of Dany burning everything, of people running, and it was very, I guess, kind of realistic in a sense, besides the fact that she just doesn't die. No matter what, we almost think she died 10 billion times, but she always comes back. I don't know what all that dust and fire and whatever getting into her lungs is gonna do to her health-wise. We see Arya's humanity shining through, how she cares about these people, how she tries to help them. And I thought it was kind of realistic too, because Arya's so tiny, and how she gets like shoved around and pushed and like grabbed and moved places. She killed the Night King, but she's still, you know, little. And that guy that came up to her, and he was like, have you seen my wife? And he looked like Gendry. Like, you know, younger Gendry, when he did earlier in the seasons. Not that he's younger than Gendry, but like, still, you know what, with the hair and everything, I was like, what? Like, that was kind of symbolic. It has to be. She has to go back to Gendry. She has to. And if they don't do that, then I'm gonna be really disappointed. But then again, it's Game of Thrones, and if you think it has a happy ending, it doesn't. The parallels between Arya and the Hound were so beautifully edited and awesome to watch. How they'd both fall, they'd both get up. I loved it. I love that cutback between both of them, especially considering their relationship. I thought it was very fitting and nice. Heartbreaking and so frightening, but awesome. I'm not sure about the wildfire. Obviously, we see the green, and I don't know if there was just pockets of it in places, and then when Dany was burning everything to the ground, it kind of exploded, or if Cersei planted it there. I have no clue. Arya interacting with all the people. I don't know, like the romantic side of me, the dreamer side of me would love for this kind of to foreshadow her wanting to start her own family. She didn't kill anybody this episode. It seems like the writers are setting her up to drop all of this revenge and to move on with her life and to choose life. So her helping the mother and the daughter, it was really sweet. Some people called the mother Ellen DeGeneres, and I thought that was really funny. And the little girl holding the little white horse, and then we see later on in the episode that they're burnt to a crisp, and that tear that comes out of her eyes, and she's just like, oh my god. And also, she could be thinking about that, like, this is where Gendry grew up, you know? This could have easily been him there and him getting burnt. She's gonna come back to Winterfell and be like, Sansa, girl, do I have to tell you stuff? In the promo next episode, we still see she's in King's Landing. So I don't know what's gonna happen. Cersei, Jaime try to escape, obviously, and they try to go the whole route that Tyrion said, and it's all closed in. No surprise. I would have been more surprised if they actually were able to get out. That would have been nuts. Yeah, they're blocked in, of course, and we see such a human side of Cersei, where lately we see her as a monster. But I think the show has humanized her before, especially within the whole walk of shame bit and losing her children. And this, we just see it again, the tears and how she doesn't want to die. I'm so unsure if she was pregnant because she mentions it. She's like, oh my god, I have to save the baby, whatever. And then she's like, I don't want to die, Jaime, I don't want to die. And we see the tears in her eyes, and she's so scared. I felt like a tinge bad, but also like, girl, you have to die. I'm sorry. Like, I really love the last scene of it. I love how it ended and how they chose Arya to be the one to go through all of this and to see it from her perspective, because she is a character that is loved, a fan favorite, and especially somebody that is moving on to the next chapter of her life. She has been on the chapter of revenge for so long, and now she's on to the next chapter. I think the whole prophecy of her killing somebody with green eyes, whatever, that Melisandre said, I think she already killed that person. It might have been Peter Baelish. I don't see Dany being somebody that she kills. I think that's going to be Jon's problem. Arya's done, and I think they've made that clear. I'd be surprised if they take it back, you know? So, she looks around, everybody's dead, it sucks, obviously, and she sees the white horse coming towards her. And it's this symbol of life and hope, and it's beautiful. It's such a great scene. We could see it as Bran. He called an Uber for her, essentially. We could see it resembling, you know, Ned Stark and his white horse, and how he somehow from heaven sent it to her. You know what? Or we could just leave it as the horse resembling this new chapter for Arya, hope and life. And she rides off. We see in the promo she's still in King's Landing, so not sure about that. She's gonna go see Gendry wherever he is. I don't know, like, where the heck is he? Is he still, he has to still be in Winterfell. Like, he can't get his own castle in Storm's End yet. Like, Dany's not queen, and I'm sure there's still squatters there. And if he somehow got in there, that's not very well explained. I don't know, you know? Also, what happened to the prisoners that they had? Like, Ilaria, Sand, like, are they dead? Or are they even gonna talk about them? Or do they not care? Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, that's all I have to say. I don't know what's gonna happen next episode. I'm scared, worried. I hope they kind of wrap this up nicely. But yeah, those are my thoughts. I really wasn't surprised. Disappointed, like, a little bit. But I think no matter what, there's gonna be a sense of disappointment, and there's gonna be things that you don't like. That's just the way it is, you know? I think no matter what, if they would have did the Red Wedding now or any other kind of episode now, people still would have been like, I can't believe they did that, you know? So no matter what, it's really hard to wrap up a show. So that's what I'm gonna leave you with. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you think is gonna happen next episode. Are you disappointed? Happy? Yeah, I would love to hear some different viewpoints and opinions. Bye guys.